it's the Constant Angler. I want to talk to you today about the Sharky 3 reels from Kastking that I've owned now for 3 years, the red one, 2 years, the gold one, getting on for that. I found them to be a reliable reel, a cheap, reliable reel at that. I've given them a fair old bit of abuse in the UK, fishing for wrasse in the salt water. Wrasse are extremely hard fighting fish, and they've done the job and done me proud. So let's do some specs first. Well, they've got a 5 to 2 to 1 retrieve. That's not really fast. It's quite slow, really. But for what I'm using them for, you know, I'm lifting solid fish out of kelp, getting the heads up and keeping them from hitting the bottom. That little bit slower gives you an extra bit of torque. They also have 33 pounds of drag. Wonderful drags on them. There you can hear there, it's quite audible, isn't it? Quite an adjustment there, and they lock right up tight. I think I've got this one here, the red one, done up really tight. I'm going to shift that spool. Make sure to loosen those the drags off when you've finished fishing at the end of the day. It will keep your drags, it won't compress the drag washers, and it'll make them last longer and keep them smoother for longer. There you've got a stainless steel main shaft, a zinc alloy drive gear, a brass pinion gear, so all these things sound great, don't they? And a triple carbon drag system. They do have an anti-reverse on them, so there we go, we can back wind. I prefer reels without that. Some people like to play on the background. I really don't. I wrap my knuckles, and drags are so good these days and so smooth, there really is no need. I've had no problems with the drags on these. They're very smooth and real fish stoppers. The problem with having this lever here underneath is that water can ingress there. It's a weak spot. I don't know what Kastking have done behind that, but it is a possibility. And some of the more modern Shimano's and that now don't have these anti-reverses. They're going out of fashion. So if that's something you like, then that's a positive for you. Otherwise, yeah, I prefer not, but it's not that much of a negative. Water ingress wise, yes, the KISS system they've got. Now what KISS stands for, I don't know, but they're claiming that there's more water resistant spool and body and rotor. As you can see here, this go bit underneath here, that's actually a solid block, and I think that's the kind of thing they're talking about, and protection for the drag washers inside the spool. I can't vouch for that. All I can say is that I have dunked them once or twice in their lifetime, not for long, not on purpose. I have splashed them with salt water. Obviously they do get covered in salt water, and they're working fine. I wouldn't, however, use them in the surf. If that's the kind of thing you're doing, or on a kayak where they're going to fall in all the time, then no. Don't believe the hype with winding them over the water, underwater. They're not going to do that if you keep doing that. They're not made for that. Spool capacity, they've got 150 yards of 10-pound mono on there, or 150 yards of 25-pound braid. They've got 10+1 bow bearings. I think it says it here somewhere. There, it does underneath there. So they're quite smooth. I have noticed, if we're talking long term, that the red, which I've had for 3 years but probably not used any more than the gold, is actually a bit looser, a bit more play in the body there, whereas the gold from the get-go seemed to be smoother. Maybe that's in my head or not, but it's certainly smoother now. It's tighter reel. Now they are cheap. Those are 35-pound reels. They're both fully functioning reels still. They both perform effortlessly. You can do the job that I asked them to. They weigh 9.2 ounces or 284 grams. They're a graphite body. I bought these on the back of owning a Kodiak, which was an aluminium body. Personally, I prefer the aluminium body. A little bit of extra weight on reel seems to balance your rods out better sometimes. Well, how have they performed long-term wise? No, I've not had any problems at all. Yes, this one's loosened up a bit, but as I said, it's fully functioning. They do the job I want. They're nice looking reels. They're pretty smooth for what they are, and they're cheap. All I do at the end of the day, I've done with these, is spray them off with a bottle of water when the drag is tightened down fully, and then I loosen them off after I've done that, after I've dried them. So yeah, not a whole lot of maintenance. I put the odd drop of oil on the roller bearings and other spots, but nothing in particular. Same as I treat all my reels. And as you can see, they're in reasonable condition. There's the odd scuff and scratch you can see on the bottom of this one here, on the handles and on the body, but really they haven't done bad, and they're still nice looking reels. You can get them for about £35 here in the UK on eBay or AliExpress. So yeah, Kastking, it's a thumbs up for me for these reels. They've done me proud over the years. They haven't let me down. That's all I can tell you really. For the price, go out and get yourself one. They're currently on offer for £35 on AliExpress. I know that. I think even cheaper in places. So yeah, it's a no-brainer really, isn't it? Cheers.